Hyrule Warriors review for the Wii U. This game is actually a spin-off of the Dynasty Warriors franchise. I've never played any of those games before, so I didn't have an expectation going into this game. I wasn't too interested in the Dynasty Warriors games before, but that's changed after playing this game. There are many modes to play, with Legend Mode as the starting point. In the beginning cutscene, we see evil forces heading towards Hyrule Castle, and Zelda, Impa, and Link, who isn't recognized as the hero yet, prepare for battle. The first level starts you out playing as Link. You'll slice and dice your way through enemy lines and reach your destinations throughout every map. During each level, you'll receive main quest objectives, as well as side quests to give you more to do. The side quests are of course optional, but they're very helpful in the way that they will help you achieve more experience points and items. If you just completed the main quest by itself, the game wouldn't be as fun, or long for that matter. As you play through Legend Mode, you'll meet up with other characters, most of whom you'll get to play as later on. At the end of each level, you'll have the chance to upgrade your characters in the forms of skill sets, level, items, and weapons. To unlock a new ability for your attack combos, defense, or passive skills, you'll need to collect items throughout levels which can be obtained by defeating certain enemies. The items are ranked by standard, silver, and gold ratings, and you'll need to collect a lot of each kind in order to unlock every skill for each character, or buy potion mixtures that you can use once per level that can alter different things, such as receiving more rupees than normal during one playthrough of a level. Some of the items you find are new weapons. You can take your weapons and fuse them together to make even better weapons. Each character has their own movesets, but almost all of them are performed the same way. Y is your standard attack, and X is your special attack. Using them in different combinations can let you execute some powerful and sweet looking attacks. I'm glad the developers made the game so that pulling off combos is super easy. The game would have been much more frustrating and difficult if the combos were complicated. At the top left corner of the screen is your special attack gauge. Hitting enemies and finding Triforce fragments will fill it up, and once it's full, you can perform a devastating attack that targets many enemies, usually ones right in front of you. Every character's special attack is different, but all have the same results. You also have a magic meter, and when it's full by finding magic potions, you can press R to go into focus mode. Here, your character will attack quicker and will be able to break guards. You can press A to unleash a super powerful attack, or wait until your magic meter depletes, in which your character will automatically pull off one final devastating attack. Not all characters are the same when it comes to fighting. Sheik has an elemental ability where when you perform a certain combo with her special attacks, she can perform different elemental attacks. Or like with Ganondorf, he has a special meter which when charged with his special attacks, he can perform a powerful area of effect attack. Not all characters have special traits like these, but each one is very powerful and different enough to where you will like to fight as certain characters over others. The game will suggest which character and weapons to use on specific levels, but you don't have to choose them if you don't want to. However, there are a handful of levels where the game forces you to play as a different character, so upgrading only one character is probably not the best idea. I knew this was a Zelda-themed game, but I was surprised at just how many elements from the Zelda franchise was put into this game. It's hard to say just how much there is, but just know there's a lot. From big things like the levels themselves based on areas from actual Zelda games, to smaller things like this attack right here. That is so awesome! Each level even gives you the chance to locate and destroy golden Skulltulas. In Adventure Mode, you're set on a grid where you fight your way through certain scenarios to unlock more grid pieces and find hidden secrets and items on the grid itself. Unlocking grid pieces is harder than it sounds, as many of the missions require you to earn an A ranking, which is based on the time it took you to complete it, the amount of enemies you destroyed, and the amount of damage you took. In Challenge Mode, certain missions are available for you to take on, however some of these can be very difficult. You'll really need to be on your A game if you want to receive an A ranking. The graphics are great, but honestly some of the areas seemed a bit under-detailed, and if there are so many enemies on the screen, the game will start to lag a bit. Not too much, but definitely enough to notice a slowdown. The controls are pretty much perfect, except when using the D-pad. Using it will let you cycle through your inventory, however you don't have to use that and can use the gamepad's touchscreen instead. I like using the ladder scheme better, as it's faster and very accurate. All this footage you see here is me using the Warriors control scheme, but you can switch it to Zelda mode if you like, but Warriors mode worked just fine for me. You can play 2-player co-op in any mission. One person uses the TV screen with a Wiimote Nunchuck combo or Wii U Pro controller, and the other person uses the gamepad. This can make things really fun, and might make it easier to conquer levels when on a higher difficulty. If you have an amiibo, you can use it to unlock different weapons. Our Link amiibo got us spinners for Link, swords for Zelda and Ganondorf, and even my brother's Woolly Yoshi got us a weapon. And by the way, Link's spinner is very OP. Just look. What an awesome weapon! One thing I didn't like was the length of Legend Mode. There's over a dozen stages, and each one, depending on how much you do, can take about 30 to 40 minutes on average, and longer if you're on a higher difficulty. I appreciate all the extra content in Adventure and Challenge Mode, but I think I would have liked to see more levels in Legend Mode. Another issue I didn't like was the camera. While good for the most part, sometimes it wouldn't follow you correctly, especially when you're performing special attacks. It doesn't really hinder your in-game fighting experience, but the special attacks are really cool to watch, and if the camera isn't in the correct position, it kinda sucks. I wish there was some sort of online mode. Like, I think it would have been cool to duel another player, play co-op with them, or like see who can destroy more enemies within a time limit. It's not a huge downside since there's so much offline content, but I think it could have made the game even better. Hyrule Warriors is a great game that will delight any Zelda fan. Great graphics, almost perfect controls, a huge amount of content, a great soundtrack. Lots of items and weapons to change up your strategy, many characters to choose from, all with their own unique fighting styles and weapons, awesome special attacks, and being able to choose your difficulty to fit your gaming style is always welcome. However, I was a bit disappointed in the length of Legend Mode. The camera would sometimes not keep up with you, and I kind of wish there was an online mode. Overall though, I highly recommend this awesome game. I'd love to see a future Zelda game that plays similar to this, in the way that you get to play as other characters other than Link, and I think this could be a good starting point for some inspiration. This game gets a 4.5 out of 5 with the title of Epic.